Okay, it's now turned on and we are getting the grass. Okay. So I still need to check on the maze. I will probably forget to check on the maze, but I still need to do that. And I have to be careful about coming in and out of this field, I guess, if that's going to be a thing. I was surprised I didn't get trapped in the hedge, because normally a glitch like that is your weight has just gone into the hedge and now it's melded with the hedge and you're just not going anywhere. And that was something that Cavalier Roy warned us about, was the hedges can be glitchy at times, such that an attachment will get stuck in it and then there's nothing you can do to get it out short of lifting it over the top of the hedge. This is a heavy tractor, I'm not sure I can pick it up. Okay, how's the light? Oh, we're actually almost full. What is it, 50 in this? Pretty sure. Oh, we did use 2 litres, or 1.5 litres of additive. So gonna have to get some more. Or find some more. Find where we left it. Okay. No, didn't make it. Tractor agility, that was probably possible. Unfortunately, trailer hitch length doesn't let us go there. Okay. So grass, and I will need to zoom out with the camera here and so I'm going to run a couple of rows from that end and then I'll be backing into the silage clamp to empty any excess after that point. Now, silage additive, as I said, I believe is in this shed here. Oh, we've actually got... That would be liquid fertilizer that hasn't been liquefied yet. Liquid fertilizer concentrate. This would be silage additive, and wow, let's fly. Drop that there and fill up the doodad. Or get it, I don't know. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure our forage harvester has an awful lot of silage additive in it either. So we will need to go and buy some before the next harvest, which, like I said, is probably September. Still, how What did we do there? We got one full row. I don't know. Call it 1.5 full rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1.5 into 13 goes a few and a couple and a bit. One and a half times 13. No, 1.5 into 13. 8. Possibly 9 loads of silage. Well, it is what it is, and it's probably the rest of today. If I can get all this collected before lunch, it does mean I can look at doing something with courseplay to get that compacted, because it's a horrible job and not something that needs to be inflicted on people who are watching a stream. Just my feelings about it. This will give me a better 59 times 50 is 450,000. This is a little under 500,000 litres of grass we should get here. It's not bad. And yeah, we are using just over a litre of grass per 50,000, or a litre of additive per 50,000. And any second now we should go racing away. So 1.32 litres of silage additive per truckload. I'm trying to get us angled that way so it's a little bit easier to get in and out of the field. As I've said, I might get to the point where I start taking chainsaws to field entrances just to give us a little bit more manoeuvring room. Bring this in here, and I think what I want to try and do is make this end as high as possible and just fill out the rows as we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. More like what I wanted to do last time. Don't want to be heading too far down the bunker. I want to get a good ridge at the back. That's why I'm thinking I don't want the open-ended bunkers. I want one end closed. So it gives me a back to work up against. This does have a very nice working width. So much better than the baler. And as I keep saying, I'm not going to be using bales on my farm because they're buggy, or they were, and from some YouTubers I watch, they still are. So I'm inflicting the pain and agony of just doing it all this way. Still. What are we doing? That's half a tank. This is what, third truck, so yeah, another 6 trucks probably before we're finished here. We'll try and get this far edge this time. Not sure how well I'll do making that turn. Oh, actually, a little bit inaccurate, but mostly that was a good turn. Stick through there. And this is the last. Oh, tight row, I'm getting stuck. Okay, let's see if I can squeeze in that gap. Ah, big tractor. Come on, big tractor, you can do this. Is this where we jump up and down? Insanely trying to get the cart to follow. This is not going to fit through there. Okay. This is... Big tractor, big trailer. This is going to be difficult. And we are butt up against that wall there. Oh. Sometimes you just feel like chopping your way through the hedge. Okay. See if I can get this angled out the other way. Now, I am really stuck here. Let's drive forwards. Okay. That might work a little bit better. I can get that trailer at a good angle. I can get out. Yes. Alrighty. Challenges of sim physics and just sliding around like stuff shouldn't slide around. Okay, let's get this backed in here. We should be able to fill up the, from our perspective, the right-hand side of this. Wow, I'm actually compacted 24%. That's kind of impressive. Okay. about that one? Yep, that one works. Okay, sorry about that. Mrs. Osa is just about to go out, pick up the kids and take them out to lunch. And apparently girly kid needs some skirts, so they're going to go out shopping, which should make the young boy really happy. He hates shopping. When she goes to pick him up when they're staying for the weekend, it's like, are we going shopping? Yes. Oh. Do we have to? Not that they actually mind shopping because it gives them a chance to spend their pocket money. So shopping's not always a bad thing, it's just, you know, you get in the car, you're coming to see Mrs. Osa, and she says, yeah, we're going shopping. Well, that was the other thing we started at. So, since the beginning of this year, we have had a lot of homemade soups. So, we'll big pot make a soup, and Mrs. Osa's been making homemade bread to go with it, which the small boy doesn't like, but the small girl does like. Well, this week we ran out of sandwich buns. We tend to have sandwiches at lunchtime during the week, and we ran out of sandwich buns. And I just came up with the suggestion, why not use your dough recipe to make some buns? So, yeah, okay, we'll go with that. So first batch was a bit of a, what's the word for it? A bit of a practice run. Unfortunately, it was also a little bit of a disaster because we had to go out in the afternoon and hadn't catered for that. And so the dough was mixed up in the bread machine and then collapsed while we were out. So they were a little denser than we'd expected them to be. We also didn't know how long to cook them for. So we figured all that out. We made 6 buns but lost one of them in the let's cut it open and just see how cooked they are. But since then we made some more yesterday. I think they turned out okay. But that looks to be the thing we're going to be doing going forward, rather than, because we found that finding sandwich buns at the store can be a little hit or miss. Frequently they're sold out by the time we get there, or I'm there. One store I'm not comfortable buying bread products at, or products that are baked on premises, unless I know I'm going to eat them tomorrow. They do have a habit of going mouldy before they're all gone. The other stores, not too bad, but at least if we're cooking our own, it doesn't really matter because we're cooking them to demand and eating them pretty much immediately. Oh, now the compaction's down to 16, so that's more what I was expecting, because we're dumping and we're not driving over it. Oops, back up. But you can see if I had a solid wall at the back, I'd be able to back up against that wall and fill it from the back, as opposed to trying to work it out from the middle. But yeah, homemade sandwich buns, awesome. Haven't tried subs yet, but I think we have probably 2 more trial runs. I have suggested maybe we put water in the bottom of the oven when they're baking to make the crusts a little bit softer. They don't have to be, they're quite okay. Or does it make them crisper? I can't remember, but I know it changes the texture because you're effectively cooking them in steam rather than just heat. So we'll give that a go, and yeah. Once we're happy, I think that the first batch we only made 6, and then I cut one in half so I could see whether it had cooked all the way through, and so didn't really work out well as a sandwich bun. But we had soup that night, so I ate it with soup once it had finished cooking. But second batch, as I said, we've got that for lunch today, and may look at changing the recipes up a bit. Once we're happy, as I said, we made 6 the first time. We made 6 yesterday, but they're huge. So long as we don't let the dough collapse, we could probably get about 8 from a batch of dough from the bread machine. So that's what we'll be aiming for. And then once we're happy with the result, probably buy some tins so that we can make them a consistent size rather than grab a ball of dough, roll it up, and end up with multiple buns of different sizes and shapes. But homemade bread is definitely a way to go. We kind of started back when COVID happened. There was sort of, there was no toilet paper. There was also no bread at a lot of stores. So I had Mrs. Osa. She was visiting her dad and was due to come home on the Monday, and that particular Monday was the day that Ohio and Michigan locked down. So I said, well, while you're coming home, you get here before midnight, you're okay. Otherwise, supposedly they're locking the place down, and I've got no idea what they'll do to anybody who's driving around the streets at that time. Because, the governments hadn't tried locking down before then. I said, you're on your way home, get some yeast, because the yeast we have is dead. So she bought the last jar of yeast at the store, and then basically there was no yeast at any of the stores, there was no bread at any stores, the flour was in short supply. But we go to Sam's and buy a ton of, big bags of flour, so they last us a while. But we sort of made homemade bread then, but we didn't make it regularly. Now we're at the point where, we have soup, we're going to have homemade bread with it, plus we're now making homemade buns to have as sandwiches during the week. Okay. I think we can pull this forward a little bit. Kind of want to be careful and try and get this as even as I can. Already up to 250,000. That's actually not bad, I think. I am stacking it a little high back there. with the whole crop, I did do a big stack at the back of the thing, but then thinned it out towards the front, or what I'm notionally using as the front of the clamp. Makes it a little easier to compact. Plus, it's a little bit cheaty, but so long as you're driving on some silage in the clamp, it will reduce the compaction, or it'll increase the compaction, sorry. So you don't have to compact 100% of the area of the clamp, you just have to compact a lot of it. Well, that corner's probably, and that's getting back to what the worker was doing, was it would miss a large arc at each corner, but this trailer is so freaking huge, I can't get it into the corner anyway. So long as I keep an even sort of swing round the edges, it should pick up what I need, plus the wind rowing that the Big M does. The other option I have is I could bring out the windrower that we have when we're making hay, just pull everything out from the corner. But not too fussed about that right now. How are we doing? 30,000. Probably make the end of this row and then I'm full. And then unfortunately I've got an awful lot left to collect on the left hand side of the field as we're looking at it. Okay, 9,000 more.